Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Physics with NK Bhatt. To learn concepts of physics, subscribe this channel and press the bell icon button to get notified for every new video lecture. Hello everyone, I welcome you back in the series of video lectures for semiconductor. In the last video lecture, we had seen that how can we differentiate between insulator, conductor and semiconductor on the basis of band theory. Today I brought another connected and interesting topic, that is types of semiconductors. In this lecture you will come to know what are the types of semiconductors, how can we improve the conductivity of semiconductors, what is doping in the semiconductors, what are the types of doping in semiconductors, and what are the impacts of doping in the semiconductors. So let us begin with the very first highlight of today's lecture. What are the types of semiconductors? The semiconductors are of two types. The first type is intrinsic semiconductor. Whatever we studied so far about the semiconductor, that comes in the category of intrinsic semiconductor. So the pure semiconductor without any doping is known as intrinsic semiconductor. In semiconductors, the band gap between conduction band and valence band is less than 3 electron volt, that we discussed in the last video lecture. For the commonly used semiconductors, silicon and germanium, this band gap is of order of 1 electron volt. So let's see with the help of the band diagram. This is valence band having valence electrons. This is conduction band, and the conduction band is originally empty. The band gap between these two bands, valence band and conduction band, is less than 3 electron volt. So because of this less band gap, some electrons from the higher level of valence band migrate to the lower level of conduction band. As a result, the vacancy of electrons is created in the valence band, that is known as holes. So in conduction band we have free electrons, and in holes are present in valence band. So these holes are equivalent to positive charge, which is left behind by migration of electrons from valence band to conduction band. Since few electrons are available in conduction band, therefore the intrinsic semiconductors show low conductivity of electricity. So conductivity is low because the number of electrons available in conduction band are very less. So how to improve the conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor, that we'll discuss in the remaining section of today's lecture, and accordingly we will have the another type of semiconductor. So the first type of semiconductor is intrinsic semiconductor, and as I told you, it is the pure semiconductor without any doping element. The another type of semiconductor is extrinsic semiconductor. The semiconductor obtained after doping of intrinsic semiconductor is known as extrinsic semiconductor. So the another type of semiconductor is extrinsic semiconductor, and this semiconductor is obtained after doping of intrinsic semiconductor. So we should know what is doping. Doping is of two types. It is of trivalent or pentavalent. So these elements are known as doping elements because they enhance the conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. The semiconductor obtained after doping with the pentavalent element is known as N-type semiconductor. So if we are adding pentavalent elements in the intrinsic semiconductor, then the semiconductor obtained is known as N-type semiconductor. Likewise, if we are adding the trivalent element in the intrinsic semiconductor, then the semiconductor obtained is known as P-type semiconductor. So in that way we discussed about the two types of semiconductors, intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductors are further of two types. The first is N-type semiconductor and the second is P-type semiconductor. N-type is obtained by adding pentavalent element and p-type is obtained by adding trivalent element. So let us see what happens in n-type semiconductor. The semiconductor obtained after doping of intrinsic semiconductor with pentavalent element is n-type extrinsic semiconductor. Let the pentavalent element antimony is added to the intrinsic semiconductor silicon. Then 4 of its electrons establish their covalent bonds with 4 neighboring atoms of silicon. अगर हम एंटीमनी को ऐड करेंगे सिलिकॉन के साथ, तो सिंस सिलिकॉन का वैलेंसी 4 है और एंटीमनी का वैलेंसी 5 है, तो एंटीमनी के 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स सिलिकॉन के 4 नेबरिंग एटम्स के साथ अपना कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड कंप्लीट करेंगे और एक इलेक्ट्रॉन बच जाएगा, तो 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन विल बी लेफ्ट अनपेयर्ड. In that way, each atom of antimony provides an additional electron in conduction band of silicon. Therefore, the pentavalent element is known as donor element, because each atom of this element is, you can say, donating 1 additional electron in conduction band of the n-type semiconductor. So let's see with the help of the Venn diagram. This is antimony. We have added this to the silicon, so it has completed its 4 bonds with the nearby silicon atoms, and the 5th electron is left unpaired. So this electron is known as free electron. Let's have another look in the broader view. You just see here antimony is added to silicon, so 1 electron is left unpaired. In that way, each atom of antimony will provide an additional electron to the extrinsic semiconductor known as n-type semiconductor. So what happens to the band structure or the Venn diagram of n-type semiconductor, that also we try to understand. This is the valence band in which valence electrons are present. These are valence electrons. This is the conduction band in which the free electrons are present, and because of these free electrons some vacancies are created in valence band. So these are number of holes, and you can see the number of electrons and number of holes are equal in numbers here. When we are adding pentavalent element to the intrinsic semiconductor, then an additional energy level is formed just below the conduction band in which all the additional electrons are lying. हमने भी देखा था कि अगर हम पेंटावलेंट मिला देते हैं सिलिकॉन में, तो उसका हर एक एटम हमें एक एडिशनल इलेक्ट्रॉन देगा. तो वो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कहाँ एग्जिस्ट करते हैं? वो इलेक्ट्रॉन एक नए एनर्जी लेवल में एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, और वो एनर्जी लेवल होता है कंडक्शन बैंड के जस्ट बिलो. सो दिस इज द न्यू एनर्जी लेवल फॉर्म्ड just below the conduction band, and this energy level is known as donor energy level, and the gap of this donor energy level is 0.01 electron volt with respect to the conduction band. So because of this very small gap, these electrons which are lying in donor energy level, they migrate to the conduction band. As a result, the number of electrons are increased in conduction band, you can see here, without changing number of holes in valence band. So we can say Ne is very greater than Nh in case of the n-type semiconductor, and the conductivity of this semiconductor is increased because a large number of electrons are available in conduction band. So this n-type semiconductor is the better semiconductor in comparison to the intrinsic semiconductor. So likewise, let's see about the p-type semiconductor. This semiconductor is obtained when a trivalent element is added to the intrinsic semiconductor, and let us consider the trivalent element boron. It is added to the intrinsic semiconductor silicon. So it's same connection as we had seen in case of n-type semiconductor. When trivalent boron is added to intrinsic semiconductor silicon, then 3 of its electron establish covalent bonds with 3 neighboring atoms of silicon, and 1 bond is left unpaired. To complete this band, 1 electron from neighboring silicon atom jumps in it, and an additional hole is created in valence band. So बोरोन अपना 4th बॉन्ड कंप्लीट करने के लिए एक इलेक्ट्रॉन नेबरिंग सिलिकॉन से ले लेता है, और उस वजह से और सिलिकॉन के पास एक जगह खाली हो जाती है, वो कहलाती है होल। सो ईच एटम ऑफ बोरोन प्रोवाइड्स एन एडिशनल होल इन वैलेंस बैंड। इस तरह से बोरोन का हर एक एटम एक एडिशनल होल प्रोवाइड करता है हमको वैलेंस बैंड में। एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ट्राइवेलेंट डोपिंग एलिमेंट इज नोन एज acceptor element because it accepts electron from the valence band. So in that way, number of holes in valence band are increased when we talk about p-type semiconductor. Let's see this with the help of a diagram that illustrates the bond formation of trivalent element boron. When boron is added, then 3 of its electrons accomplish the covalent bond with 3 silicon atoms. Nearby vacancy is left here to complete the bond with the 4th silicon atom. So to complete this 4th bond, one electron from the neighboring silicon jumps to the vacancy of electron there. As a result, one hole is created in valence band of the p-type semiconductor. So how it is happening? Just to understand this, we again go through the band diagram. This time it is for p-type semiconductor. So as usual, we are taking the valence band first. It is having, then we are having conduction band. It is at higher energy level. The conduction band has few electrons, and these electrons migrated from the valence band. As a result, number of holes are created in valence band. This is similar to the n-type semiconductor. In p-type semiconductors also, an additional energy level is formed just above the valence band. This is the additional energy level formed just above the valence band. This is known as acceptor energy level, and the gap of this acceptor energy level with respect to the valence band is very small, that is of order of 0.01 to 0.05 electron volt. Because of this less band gap, the electrons from valence band migrate to the acceptor energy level, and as a result, number of holes are increased in valence band. So you can see these number of holes are increased in valence band, and number of electrons in conduction band are still few as it is these were in case of intrinsic semiconductor. So we can say for the p-type semiconductor, Ne is very less than Nh, and the conductivity of the semiconductor is increased, just similar to the n-type. So in the end, I just want to recall about the main features of today's video lecture, that there are 2 types of semiconductors, intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductors are again of 2 types, p-type and n-type semiconductor. I hope this video lecture will help you to understand the concept of p-type and n-type semiconductor. Thanks for watching this video. We will meet very soon in the next video lecture. Till then, keep watching, keep learning.